First tonight, the masks are finally coming off, finally, even in far-left states like New York and Illinois. But while the mandates are finally coming to an end, there's one weird, bizarre, puzzling exception. In many blue states, children, you know, the ones that have a 0% statistical COVID-19 death rate, that aren't impacted like older people and people with comorbidities, people obese, people with pre-existing conditions, compromised immune systems. Yeah, the least likely people to get seriously ill from COVID, they're still forcing your children to wear masks in school and other public settings. This isn't about science. This is about health. It's not about health or safety either, or the spread of COVID. Democrats, teachers' unions, they are playing politics with the well-being of your children. And the last thing these people want to do is what they keep telling us to do. Follow the science. According to multiple studies, face masks are harming the development of our kids. A report in USA Today details how first graders are way behind in reading. Kids are also having a harder time making friends and recognizing faces. Speaking and motor skills apparently also are impaired. One 3-year-old in New Jersey was kicked out of speech therapy for not wearing their mask. Others are forced out of school altogether. You have 29 students in Loudoun County in Virginia suspended for mask violations, despite Governor Youngkin's order making masks optional. He'll join us in a minute. Meanwhile, in the Bronx in New York and in New York City, 2 high schoolers were suspended. They weren't wearing their masks. But here is the idiotic fill-in New York Governor Kathy Hochul making 0 cents. In the Bronx, no masks surrounded by masked children. And this week, she ended the mask mandate for adults, but not for the people that are the least vulnerable. You know, and not for the people that are least impacted by this, the kids. Now, here is wannabe governor of Georgia, or in her mind, still governor of Georgia, Stacey Abrams, and she fully supports all the mask mandates for kids, but she can't be bothered to be a good example and wear one herself because of her age alone. Never mind maybe any comorbidity she may have. Abrams is at a much higher risk for COVID-19 than any one of those kids with their mask on in that room. And yet she's the only one not wearing the mask. Now, here is a 70-year-old lady, Jill Biden, also no mask, surrounded by kids, all wearing masks. And here is 64-year-old teachers union boss Randy Weingarten, maskless on MSDNC, demanding your kids continue to wear masks. Take a look.
What Dr. McBride just told us about masks not particularly being effective for children. What's the argument against taking off masks in schools?
Well, the argument is that you have, well, let me just say this. I am in favor of an off-ramp on masks.
Right.
The real issue becomes, is the spread low enough so that there's no dissemination or transmission in schools?
Now, don't forget, Randy Weingarten was an advocate of virtual learning and has been for a while. For months, she tried to keep schools closed. And Randy Weingarten doesn't give a rip about the well-being of your kids. And meanwhile, the always honest, always trustworthy, always consistent. You know, I knew all about the funding of the Wuhan Virology Lab, but I'm lying about it. Dr. Anthony Fauci and Dr. Rochelle Walensky also want to make sure that your kids stay masked at all times. Forget the science. Take a look.
We understand what governors are saying. We also want to make sure that people are safe, and that the CDC has not amended our guidance right now. We continue to recommend masking in schools for everyone. We continue to recommend masking in public indoor settings in areas of higher substantial transmission, and that right now is everywhere in the country.
What are your thoughts on children, first of all, needing to wear masks at school, and what do you think about the possibility we're going to be able to lift it?
Well, certainly there will come a time, hopefully sooner rather than later, when we will be able to lift the mask mandate in general, including to schools, but we're not there yet.
I am so sick of hearing his voice, seeing him on TV. He's been wrong the entire time. And again, children are the least likely to get seriously ill or die from COVID-19. That doesn't matter to the so-called experts, because the experts don't really care about real science, only convenience science or risk analysis or common sense. None of that applies. They only care about optics. My prediction, in a few days, maybe a few weeks, they will suddenly recommend masks are no longer needed. They will say the science has magically changed. when in reality, it's going to be public opinion that changes in an election year, and their power is the only thing that will change their mind and clinging on to that power. Now, we are already seeing this at Fake News CNN. They have a top so-called medical expert. Her name is Dr. Leana Wen, and she is the former president of Planned Parenthood, former health commissioner for the city of Baltimore. So obviously, she's extremely trustworthy and competent. Dr. Wen recently said that she now favors lifting mask mandates because science has changed. 5 months ago, she was arguing that unvaccinated Americans should not be allowed to leave their homes in America. Now, of course, in just 5 months, the science hasn't changed, but the polls have. And a new Republican governor was elected in the Commonwealth of Virginia after promising to end draconian COVID-19 mandates and empowering parents and letting them decide. After he was sworn in as governor, Governor Youngkin began implementing his campaign promises. And for the simple act of fulfilling his popular proposals that got him elected in a purple to blue state, that is Virginia, many on the left are vilifying Youngkin. Now, the Washington Post, you can check it almost every day. They smear him now nearly on a daily basis for no logical reason except they hate anybody that's conservative. Jim Acosta quivered as he announced that Glenn Youngkin was turning Virginia into a Soviet-style police state by making masks optional. Liberal school boards in Northern Virginia defied Youngkin's executive order on masks, sending maskless students apparently home and, trying to stick it to the new Republican governor. Now, these Democrats are playing political football, but the people they're playing football with are your kids. Thankfully, they're losing. The Virginia Senate, by the way, controlled by Democrats, they just voted to end the mask mandates in schools by a whopping margin of 29-9. As Youngkin stated, quote, "This vote shows that school boards are attacking their own students. They're stunningly detached from reality, and it's time to put kids first and get back to normal." Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.